Have you ever imagined what your life would look like if you discovered that inside of you lies a power so immense that it could completely transform your destiny? That's exactly the invitation Tony Robbins extends in his world-renowned book, Awaken the Giant Within. This isn't just another self-help book. It's a step-by-step guide to taking control of your emotions, your beliefs, and your actions, so that you can create a life far greater than the one you may have settled for. In this video, we're going to dive deep into the core lessons of the book, exploring Robbins' most powerful insights, and more importantly, how you can apply them to your own life. Think of this as a condensed version of the book itself, a summary that feels like you've absorbed the wisdom of the entire work, but delivered in a clear, engaging, and practical way. 1. The power of decisions. Robbins starts by reminding us that our destiny is shaped by our decisions, not our conditions. It's easy to blame circumstances, luck, or even other people for where we are in life. But Robbins insists that at the core of every transformation is a decision. Think about it. One decision: to start a business, to leave an unhealthy relationship, to prioritize your health, can change the entire direction of your future. A true decision isn't just saying, "I want this." It means cutting off every other option and committing fully to a new path. History is filled with stories of people whose lives turn around after a single, firm decision. And the message is clear: decisions, not conditions, determine our destiny. 2. The power of beliefs. Beliefs act like invisible glasses through which we interpret the world. They either expand our possibilities or confine us. If you believe you're not good enough, you'll hesitate to take chances. But if you believe you can learn, grow, and adapt, you'll approach challenges with resilience and confidence. Robbins shares a powerful reminder. Even the impossible can become possible once belief shifts. For decades, no one believed a human could run a mile in under 4 minutes, until Roger Bannister broke the record, and almost immediately others followed. The limitation wasn't physical, it was psychological. The lesson? Change your beliefs and you change your life. 3. The power of questions. We don't often realize it, but the quality of our lives is directly linked to the quality of the questions we ask ourselves. When something goes wrong, you'd ask, "Why does this always happen to me?" And your mind will find reasons that keep you stuck. But if you ask, "What can I learn from this? How can I turn this around?" your brain will search for answers that move you forward. Robbins calls this cultivating an empowering pattern of questions. Because when you change your questions, you shift your focus. And when you shift your focus, you change your reality. 4. Mastering emotional states. We've all had days when our emotions clouded our judgment. Maybe you were anxious, angry, or discouraged. And in that state, it was impossible to see solutions clearly. Robbins teaches that emotions are not random. They're patterns we can influence. And the good news is that you can change your emotional state in an instant. There are 2 main tools. Physiology, how you use your body, your posture, breathing, movement. Standing tall, breathing deeply, and smiling can radically shift how you feel. Focus, directing your attention towards something empowering, positive, or inspiring. Professional athletes do this all the time, pumping themselves up, visualizing victory, and stepping into a peak state before competition. And so can we. 5. Pain and pleasure, the 2 forces that shape us. Robbins explains that every decision we make is driven by 2 fundamental forces: the desire to avoid pain and the desire to gain pleasure. The challenge is that many of us have wired these associations incorrectly. For example, someone may associate pleasure with procrastination and pain with hard work. Naturally, they avoid effort and sabotage their success. But by consciously reconditioning our minds, we can rewire the system, attaching pleasure to growth, discipline, and achievement, and associating pain with wasted potential and destructive habits. This shift is like flipping a switch. When you master the dynamics of pain and pleasure, you master the foundation of motivation itself. 6. Identity, the ultimate force. If beliefs shape behavior, then identity shapes destiny. Robbins compares identity to a thermostat. No matter what happens externally, you will always return to the level of your internal self-concept. If you see yourself as lazy, you'll unconsciously behave in ways that reinforce that identity. But if you define yourself as someone disciplined and growth-oriented, your actions will begin to match. Even the language we use matters. Someone trying to quit smoking who says, "I'm trying to stop," is still identifying as a smoker. But someone who declares, "I'm a non-smoker," has shifted their identity, and that makes all the difference. To change your life permanently, you must change the way you define yourself. 7. Goals and vision. Without clear goals, life is like sailing without a compass. Robbins emphasizes that goals are the fuel of achievement, but he takes it further. Don't just set goals. Visualize them vividly. Picture the outcome in detail. Feel the emotions of already having achieved it. This mental rehearsal activates both your conscious and subconscious mind, pulling you toward your vision. Imagine someone training for a marathon. If they only think, "I want to run," they may quit when it gets tough. But if they consistently imagine crossing the finish line, hearing the cheers, and feeling the triumph, the vision itself becomes their fuel. 8. The power of commitment. Wishing for change is easy, but Robbins reminds us, results come from commitment, not desire. Commitment means showing up even when motivation fades. It means sticking to the plan, especially on the hard days. For instance, if you want to learn a language, you can't just study when you feel like it. You must create a daily practice and honor it, no matter what. Success is not built on intensity. It's built on consistency. 9. Modeling excellence. Why struggle to reinvent the wheel when others have already achieved what you desire? Robbins teaches a principle of modeling, studying the beliefs, habits, and strategies of successful people, and then applying them to your own life. Want financial freedom? Learn how wealthy people think and act. Want vibrant health? Model the routines of athletes and those who thrive physically. The truth is, success leaves clues. And by following those clues, you dramatically shorten your path to mastery. 10. Values and emotions. Every decision we make is shaped by our values, those deep emotional drivers that define what matters most to us. For one person, the highest value might be security. For another, it's freedom. For someone else, love, growth, or contribution. The problem is, most of us never consciously examine our values, and as a result, we live with internal conflict or misalignment. Robbins challenges us to bring clarity to our values, to prioritize them consciously, and to align our decisions with them. When our values are in harmony, our lives feel meaningful, coherent, and empowered. 11. Contribution, the true purpose of life. Finally, Robbins reveals the highest level of fulfillment, contribution. It's not enough to grow, achieve, and succeed. If all of that ends with us, we will eventually feel empty. True joy comes from using our gift to serve others, to uplift, to inspire, and to make a difference. Growth without contribution is incomplete, but when you merge success with service, you discover the deepest sense of purpose. Conclusion. Tony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within is not just a motivational book. It's a practical roadmap for personal transformation. It shows us that the giant we search for outside is already within us. We awaken through decisions, empowering beliefs, a strong identity, clear goals, consistent action, and ultimately contribution. The message is simple but profound. The quality of your life is the quality of your choices. So let me leave you with this question. What decision will you make today to awaken the giant within you? If this video inspired you and gave you valuable insights, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs this message today. And if you want to keep diving into powerful ideas like these about personal growth, inner healing, and the mind-body connection, make sure to subscribe to The Healing Vibe. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. And join our community of people committed to living with more purpose, power, and peace. Because here at The Healing Vibe, we believe that transformation starts within, and together we can awaken the giant inside each of us.